Hey everybody, we got an update a couple days ago. 0.4 is out. They've added a couple new cars and made some tweaks to things. And I wanted to make a video on my thoughts after driving nearly 300 kilometers in the past 2 days. So this video isn't going to go over the new cars. Most other bigger YouTube channels are doing that. I thought I'd focus on what my impressions were on redoing the challenges that I've completed up until this point on the channel. So I've redone all of those challenges in the past couple days, and I've got some thoughts I wanted to share. So stick around to hear those thoughts. All right, so I got my notes here that I wanted to go over, and I'll just kind of start from the top here. One thing I noticed is that for me, I experienced this. If you look at my menu, you can see this red button here, the flashing. That bug hasn't been fixed yet. That was occurring in the previous updates as well. I don't think this occurs for a lot of people. I think it's just maybe my setup. I have triples running an NVIDIA graphics card. But yeah, this hasn't been fixed for me. I don't think it's affecting everybody. That's one thing I noticed. Something that they did fix is that at the end of a stage, when it uploads the time, every time you were getting that upload error, that's finally been fixed. So that is a welcome fix for sure. Another thing that they have not fixed is if you race with the HUD on, at the start of the stage, there's this missing input button error that's been popping up since I think version 0.1. That still hasn't been fixed. I personally don't race with the HUD on, so that doesn't affect me, but I just noticed that when I was poking around to see what had changed. So that bug is still present. Something else, I said I wasn't gonna go over the new cars, but just one thing I noticed on the new Impreza that kind of surprised me. It's a manual 6-speed, but this steering angle, 360-degree steering angle, that's pretty crazy. That's the smallest steering wheel car in the game right now. I drove it just a little bit and it felt pretty decent. Something interesting with this car is the launch in first gear. When you dump the clutch, if you dump the clutch on a launch, it'll just bog down. So you have to feather the clutch out to actually get a decent launch with this car. It's something I haven't experienced with any other car yet. So that was interesting. The other new car they added here is the Maxi. It's got a more sane or normal steering angle of a 720 degrees. It's a sequential 6-speed and front-wheel drive. I tested it a little bit. It's really fun on tarmac. So yeah, that's the new cars they added. I'm not gonna be showing myself racing them or anything, because that's not the focus of this video. So my impressions of the kind of physics changes, grip changes and stuff. There have been improvements, but in some areas, and that's not even most areas, but the rain is still, wet tarmac is still not great, particularly in rear-wheel drive. Front-wheel drive, it's a lot better. So let me come over to the rally events here. So I'm focusing on the cars rally events. So with the Mini Cooper, I was actually able to get gold on the rain test. That was something I couldn't do before this update. So in front-wheel drive cars, rain does seem better. I haven't been able to get gold on any other cars yet in the rain with a front-wheel drive car, but I've been able to improve my times from before. Rear-wheel drive is another story. It feels like maybe it's minorly better, but it still feels very icy. And so I won't be making any videos of myself racing on those until that feels like it's fixed. I probably won't be doing more videos on rain until that's kind of fully fleshed out. So the snow, it feels about the same. I'm not really noticing a big difference in snow at all. And tarmac is grippier now. Also, handbrake usage feels more predictable now. It's kind of what you would expect. It's not kind of just going to throw you as much as it was. They fixed it a little bit in the previous update in 0.3, but in 0.4 it's even better. So handbrakes feel pretty good on tarmac. And let's see what else. The detail that you get through the steering wheel on tarmac, I think, is higher. And relating to that, about a month ago, I had made a video about my wheelbase settings that I use for my SimMagic Alpha Evo Pro here, and I haven't changed those yet. I might tweak my force feedback details. Oh yeah, there's a force feedback details setting in there that I have maxed out. I have two different profiles that I use. I have a profile that I use for tarmac, and I have a profile that I use for gravel. For tarmac, I'm probably gonna bring that force feedback details down, maybe just a hair, maybe down to like somewhere between 15 and maybe 18. I'm gonna play around with those and see what that feels like. Since they enhanced it, it just feels like it's a little too much now for me on the road with those force feedback details. Wheel speed rotation and level of force, level of like newton meters and stuff. I'm keeping all that the same for now. Not really finding that I need to make any tweaks. I'm finding that I'm pretty much faster across the board on all the cars and stages for the most part. There's a few stages here and there where I'm like a couple seconds slower, but it looks like everyone else is kind of a little bit slower too as well, based on the leaderboard results right now. Speaking of leaderboard results, we do have several, I think 3 or 4 like top results right now. So like on this Mini Cooper one right here, we did manage to get the top spot right now. So go out there and beat my time. I think there's like 2 or 3 others that I have the top spot on. There's like one rain one on, surprisingly, that I had the top spot on. I actually just got the got a top spot on, I think, one of the recent videos I did. I can't remember which one it was. Let me go. I think it was maybe the Barth. I think I had a top spot on. Yeah, so the Fiat Abarth, I got the top spot on tarmac right now. So go beat me there. I think there's another one. Might be another. Is it the gravel test? No, not the gravel test. I think I'm like in the top 5 on most of the leaderboards right now. So go out there and add some times and beat me. Maybe it was the rain test here. It might have been the rain test here that actually got the top spot on. Nope, I was down by a second here. I don't know, one of the other cars I have a top spot on, so go out there and set some times and put me back in my place. So gravel, let's pivot to gravel. I noticed with front wheel drive cars, understeer is the more pronounced on gravel. And I think that's more realistic. It feels like more realistic to me that a front wheel drive car would be more understeery on gravel. It didn't feel like it was very understeery before. I noticed that when I was driving the Mini and the Lancia, they're both front wheel drive, and that the understeer was a little more pronounced on gravel, but I think that's actually more realistic, so I like it. Rear wheel drive, the oversteer it's not as raised in this update as the understeer on front wheel drive cars is. I think there is a little more oversteer on gravel with the rear wheel drive cars. I haven't driven any all wheel drive cars like up at all, really. I tested the Subaru just a little bit on tarmac, but I'm just kind of going through this car challenge list, so I haven't actually gotten to an all wheel drive car yet. That'll actually be I think this next one will be my first all wheel drive car that I do challenges on, the Hyundai here. That's gonna be coming up in several videos. So that'll be interesting to see all wheel drive for the first time, experience that. Let me look at my notes here. Oh, so running triples, I was hoping that they would provide maybe like native triple support. Right now I'm having to use NVIDIA Surround to run my triple screens. I'm still having to do that in this update. I tried turning off NVIDIA Surround and updating my NVIDIA drivers and stuff, and that didn't help. I still have to run NVIDIA Surround to actually get triple screen support on this game. I think you can also use, something called Raccoon Resize. I've never used that. I just stick with NVIDIA Surround. What else? Oh, another video that I recently did was showing my button box over here. I had set up a macro to like reset or restart a stage pretty fast. I just pressed a single button. I wouldn't have to like go to my keyboard and use my mouse. Just press that button and it would reset the stage. They actually changed how the menus work now. When you're on a stage, if you hit escape, the first time the menu will start up at the top. Like I think it's continue as the first selection, and then you can like choose something. Once you've chosen something, the next time you open that menu, it sticks to that previous selection. So that ruined my macro that I had, because my macro would go from the top and try to go down and click. And they also added a confirmation screen on both the restart and I think the main menu buttons. So what I did was I added another button here so I have one button for the first time I restart a stage. It'll do like 6 clicks down and then click on the button, then confirm. And then I have another button for like any subsequent restarts that I do. It'll just basically click escape and click enter again to hit the confirmation screen. So I had to tweak that a little bit. So if you watch that video, I think I made a comment on that video. I pinned it about that tweak that I made to do that. Something I noticed the first day a lot, like I think yesterday after the release, I think it was the day after the release, I started playing quite a bit. I was getting a lot of stuttering, like a lot, quite a bit more than I before the update. Today, I haven't experienced that as much. So I'm not sure if it's maybe like the servers were like just getting updated and they just needed to, or I don't know what, maybe they pushed a small bug fix or something, but today I'm not experiencing the stutter as much. I think I had maybe 1 or 2 small stutters, but yesterday it was pretty bad. So hopefully that doesn't come back because it was pretty disruptive to the game play. One other thing, so in my graphics settings, this will be the last thing. In my graphics settings, I'm using the TSR. Let me actually go over there real quick and show that. Actually, there's 2 more things I want to show. So in my graphics, I'm using the TSR anti-aliasing method. I found before this update, the DLSS was not working for me on triple screens. It was like doing this weird shredding effect on my screens. I was hoping maybe that would be updated or fixed, but that's still the case for me. After this update, it's still not working for me, DLSS. So I'm sticking to TSR still. And yeah, let's see that. One other thing I wanted to show that I actually haven't played with yet, but I found maybe interesting. And the inputs and force feedback, if you use a racing wheel, like, wheel instead of a gamepad, I noticed there's this new option here, this advanced force feedback gain. It says it increases the intensity of advanced force feedback. So I haven't played with this yet. It's interesting. The default's to 100, so I'm curious like what happens if I set that to 0. I'll play with that, but something to maybe go play out with. So I think that's it. Yeah, I'm excited about the update. I think overall it's an improvement. So I don't think there's any regressions anywhere that I've seen yet. So pretty stoked. So I think our next update comes in like June, something like that, end of June probably, where they're going to add a new track. I've heard it's going to be a new gravel track, I think, possibly grease. And I'm not sure if they're going to be adding new cars or not in that. Hopefully they do. But yeah, so we have a couple months here to play around with the 0.4 update. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment, and follow on for more Assetto Corsa Rally content. Have a great day. See ya.